Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." But most people live in the exact opposite way. We allow our emotions to be controlled by money, by what others say, by the past we have lost, and by a future that has not even happened yet. We stay awake at night because of things that have not arrived. We suffer over things that cannot be changed. We become angry when life does not go the way we want. And then, we call it a hard life. But according to Marcus Aurelius, the problem was never life itself. The problem is that we give too much power to things outside of our control. The more we try to hold on to everything, the more anxious we become. The more we try to control the world, the more the world controls us in return. So what would happen if we learned to care less? Not cold-hearted, not emotionless, but wise enough to know what is truly worthy of our attention. In this video, we will explore the profound philosophy of Marcus Aurelius on how to remain calm in a life filled with chaos. Most human suffering in life does not come from reality being too cruel. It comes from the fact that our minds never stay peacefully within reality. The mind wanders into the future. It gets trapped in the past. And then, it misses the present. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "A man lives only in the present moment. Everything else has either already vanished, or never truly existed." But modern people live as if the opposite were true. We suffer because of a tomorrow that has not arrived yet. We torment ourselves over a yesterday that is already gone. And we trade away today's peace for things that were never within our control to begin with. Maybe that is why so many people always feel exhausted. Not because they work too much, but because they think too much. They worry about how others see them. They worry they are not good enough. They worry about being left behind. They worry about the future collapsing. They worry that one day they might lose everything they have. And the strange thing is, many of the things they fear have never even happened. Yet the mind still makes them suffer, as if those things had already become real. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." That is humanity's greatest tragedy. It is not life itself that destroys our peace. It is our thoughts that do it first. Try looking back at yourself. How many nights have you lost sleep because of scenarios that never happened? How many times have you drained yourself completely simply by imagining a terrible future? What if I fail? What if they leave me? What if everything falls apart? The human mind always wants to control the future. But the problem is, the future has never promised to obey anyone. Marcus Aurelius understood this better than anyone. He was the most powerful man in the world at that time. A Roman emperor. He had armies. He had wealth. He had supreme power. And yet he still could not control illness. He could not stop war. He could not stop loved ones from leaving him. He could not stop death from moving closer day by day. And because he understood that helplessness, he learned to let go of what he could not control. Not because he was weak, but because he was wise. He wrote, "Do not let the future disturb you. If it comes, you will face it with the same reason that helps you survive today." That is not blind optimism. It is a very deep kind of inner strength. To believe that, no matter what happens, you will still be able to face it. People often think peace comes from controlling life. But the Stoics believed the opposite. Peace appears when we stop trying to control everything. Because the more we try to force life to follow our will, the more we suffer when it changes direction. It is like trying to hold water in your hands. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips away. And one day, you will realize that most of the pain in life comes from resisting things that were never meant to stay the same. People grow old. Relationships change. Emotions come and go. People make promises, then break them. Everything exists, and then disappears. That is not life's mistake. That is the nature of life itself. Yet we keep living as if everything is supposed to last forever. We love someone, and then believe they will never leave. We have money, and then think we will be secure forever. We have youth, and live as if time will wait for us. until life takes something away. And only then do we panic. Not because the loss is too painful, but because before that, we had unconsciously believed it belonged to us forever. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every day that everything is temporary, not to become pessimistic, but to stay awake and aware. Because when we understand that everything will eventually pass, we begin to appreciate the present more deeply. A peaceful morning, a meal with family, a simple conversation, a body that is still healthy. The most ordinary things are often the very things many people have already lost and can never get back. People usually realize the value of something only after losing it. And that is why Marcus Aurelius said, "Look at what you have, as if one day it might disappear." Not to live in fear, but to live more deeply. Because what makes people unhappy is not that they have too little. It is that they never feel like they have enough. They always focus on what they lack, while forgetting what they already have. And so, life becomes an endless race. After gaining money, they want more money. After gaining status, they want higher status. After finding love, they become afraid of losing it. The human mind rarely stops to say, "This is enough." It always wants more. And that endless sense of never enough is what steals away peace. But the most frightening thing is, many people spend their entire lives chasing what they believe will make them happy, only to finally achieve it, and still feel empty inside. Marcus Aurelius understood that happiness does not come from owning more. It comes from needing less. A person who can control their desires is far freer than someone who owns the whole world but cannot control their own mind. And maybe true freedom is not about doing whatever you want. It is about no longer being controlled by everything around you. Not becoming arrogant because of praise. Not collapsing because of criticism. Not letting money define your worth. Not being dragged back by the past. Not being threatened by the future. That is a very rare kind of calmness. A calmness that most people spend their whole lives without ever reaching. Because modern society is built upon restlessness. Everything is trying to make you feel uneasy. Social media makes you feel inferior. News makes you afraid. Advertisements make you feel like you are not good enough. Other people make you doubt yourself. And if you are not aware enough, you will spend your whole life chasing other people's standards, while forgetting what you truly want. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not caused by the thing itself. It comes from the way you perceive it. That is an incredibly powerful idea, because it means it is not life itself that determines your state of mind. It is the way you interpret life. Two people fail in the same way. One collapses. The other becomes wiser. Two people are rejected. One begins to hate themselves. The other sees it as a lesson. The event is the same. The pain is different. What creates the difference is the mind. And that is why the Stoics spent their entire lives training their inner world, instead of trying to control the outside world. Because the world is always changing. But a steady mind can remain standing in the middle of the storm. Maybe true maturity is when you begin to understand that not everything needs a reaction. Not everyone needs to be pleased. Not every battle is worth fighting. Sometimes, the greatest strength a human being can have is the ability to remain calm. In the middle of chaos. In the middle of loss. In the middle of things not going your way. Because in the end, life will always find something to take from your hands. Money, youth, relationships, opportunities, or time itself. But there is one thing life cannot take away, unless you choose to give it away yourself. That is the way you choose to face everything. And maybe that is what true freedom really is. And perhaps peace does not come when life finally stops being chaotic. It comes when we no longer allow the chaos to control us. Marcus Aurelius never promised that life would be easy. He simply reminded us that no matter how much the world around us changes, we can still choose to remain steady within ourselves. Some things will eventually leave. Some plans will fall apart. Some days It will feel as if everything is against us. But even in those moments, we still have the power to choose how we respond. And sometimes, that alone is a kind of victory. If this video made you pause and reflect for a moment, if it helped you feel a little lighter amid the pressures of life, then take a moment to like the video, or share it with someone who may need to hear this. And if you want to explore more profound philosophies about inner peace, emotional strength, and how to live calmly in a chaotic world, subscribe to the channel. Who knows? Maybe just a few minutes here can help you see life in a different way. Calmer, lighter, and freer.